the pod in the meantime. South of the river you stop and you hold everything.
50, 40. You might wonder why I'm holding this photo in front of me. What I'm attempting to do is show the contrast between my food-laden, fat American face and this emaciated, small, gaunt African. The problem being that they are not here in the food-rich US of A. For instance, there's enough fat on the average American businessman to feed an African family for a week at least. In fact, well, Roger over here, I mean, there's people right here on the crew, Roger and Dean and Saul over here. I bet any one of these guys could feed a family of, they could probably feed a whole tribe. Let's put it down, a whole tribe for at least a month, and no problem. I've always been into the nutritional aspect of music. A song I wrote a few years ago called The Walk of Life. I guess it wasn't a few years, probably a year ago or so. The Walk of Life was about this Chinese wok that I bought, and I interpreted it as being life-giving, and it inspired me to a great deal to write a song about life and Chinese cooking. I put sprouts in it and veggies and all kinds of good stuff like that. And anyway, I've always been into the wok since then. Here come Johnny singing Holy Scoly, Babalula baby, what I say? Yeah, the Holy Scoly is it's kind of an interesting little story. I was cooking in my wok one day, and I had a little bit of holy margarine in there. I always cook with holy margarine, and anyway, a little bit of Scoly. I chew. Oh, excuse me. I chew Scoly, Skol, and I dropped a little of it, drooled. I have that problem when you chew. It sort of drooled out into the wok of life, and I just sort of stirred it into the Oli, and yeah, Oli Scoly. I know it's not real nutritional, but it is vegetable, and I thought maybe it would sort of blend in with the rest of the meal. Yeah, the song we do is, well, when I wrote the song, I wanted to make it real rich in A's and D's and E's. I put a lot of nutritional elements into the song, and the B's were the tough part, though. You have to have a B complex. You can't just take one B vitamin, so I put B minor, a B major, I put in B augmented, diminished, B natural, even for those of you who like the natural type of nutrition, and I think it's going to be very nutritional, the song itself. But the problem is, really, when we get serious about it and really think about it, it's feeding these people, and the problem in the past has been that we've had problems shipping the food over there, and it didn't make a bunch of sense anyway, because would you shut that poor starving African kid up for a little while? We're trying to get on with this. What the problem has been is we've been shipping the food over there, and what we need to do is ship the people over here, because they're a lot lighter than the food, being emaciated like they are, and I think that's the answer myself.
I live to see ya. Pay no mind to what they say. I really don't know why he said no. I mean, really. But I guess the reason I came here was because they told me it was going to be a huge beach party, and well, I just lost all this weight, and I wanted to show it off, and just go out on the beach and, met a little bikini. But I guess also because I wanted to let the world know that I'm solo now. I'm not a go-go anymore. They're gone, and God, I can't believe I said that. And I think the answer is just to have some huge bitchin' beach party for them. You know, it'd be a cheap, great way to feed them. You know, you just serve them some burgers and some weenies, and you know, can't forget the beer and coolers, and you know, just show them how great it is to be in America, and you know, maybe teach them how to ride some waves. And it's been great meeting these fellow musicians. I think Sin's really great. I really respect her a lot musically. She really knows where she's going, and you know, the guys were okay. They were pretty cool and everything. And Nina, she was nice, but God, she's kind of intense. And I'm not getting paid for this, but it really hits home because, like, my boyfriend, he's African, and he was born in Africa, and you know, he's not starving or anything, but he can imagine what it's like to be starving. So, you know, and I pity these people, and they're thin and hungry, and honestly, I'd really like to know their diet secrets. Jeez. Here's a bunny. What's a duck? Oh. Here's a dog. And here is an Ethiopian. No, seriously, I really want to know where they're going to relocate these people because, you know, I think it should be someplace like Kansas or Iowa or Wyoming where they really have a lot of extra spare land laying around, you know, a lot of flat land there. You know, whatever they do, don't bring them to California, man, because they just don't need the tan.
Hi, I'm Jerry Garcia. You're probably wondering why a guy with a name like Garcia sounds so much like a Texan. Well, years ago, when I was just a small boy, there was a big marijuana famine down there in Mexico. So my family, my mom, my dad, and all of us kids, we loaded up in a pickup truck and we moved on up to Texas. We relocated like the potatoes during the Irish famine, or Irish during the potato famine. Yeah, that's what it was. And your Germans during the sauerkraut and spätzle type famines they had there. And what was it, the Italians and the spaghetti tree famines? Yeah, and it was a long trip. A lot of miles before we made it to Texas. Long trip. And that's why a guy with a name like Garcia can talk like a Texan. You know, I had a real far-out talk with Nina Hagen about being hungry. And I could really tell and know where she was coming from, because years ago, there was one night I was smoking a lot of stuff, and I got a terrible case of the munchies. So I went down to my local Piggly Wiggly, and I was going to get me some Hostess Twinkies and some Ho-Hos, or maybe even a moon pie. And I went into the place, and the shelves were bare. And I went up to the lady and I said, "Where's the Twinkies and the Ho-Hos and the moon pies?" She said, "They're on strike." And I said, "Oh, no." She said, "Well, you can have some potato chips." And I said, "No, I don't like potato chips. They make your teeth green." I had to stay up all that night being hungry until the next morning. Went down to the early open-up bakery, and I went in there and had some kind of a Twinkie-like thing, and I ate, 40, 50 of them. I ate so many I felt terrible. If y'all remember back in the 60s, me and Bob Weir, we got a little ahead of our time, and we wrote a little song called Truckin'. Mainly it was supposed to be about the fact of when my family trucked all the way up from Mexico, and his family came from somewhere, probably one of them Italians during the, what was it, spaghetti tree famines they had there. And it's a song about needing to go where you have to and wanting to go where you have to, you know? And I gotta go to the bathroom. Where is it? You know, I had some real good ideas of my own, some really far out ideas. After a while, you know, I compiled all these, big word, and thought on them, reckoned with them. And I figured that most of them mainly just stunk like an okie, you know? Except for one. I thought it was a great idea, and I just marveled at it. And then I got with Ian Anderson, and I told him about it, and I was still proud of the idea. And Ian looked at me without even cracking a smile, straight-faced, and said, "Well, Jerry, that idea sucks." And then he went on to explain what he meant. He says, yes, granted, that if we give speed to the starving people, it'll be like a painkiller. They won't be hungry. But they're still going to die. And I said, well, yeah, they will, won't they? Relocation is still the only answer for that. And of course, I decided on my own, I'll go ahead and send some speed on over to them. That way it'll help ease the suffering. And it'll get them hooked on it. And when they ship a bunch of them off there into Dallas, they're going to be hooked on it. And who are they going to come to see? They're going to come see me, Jerry Garcia. Yeah. You know, the only problem we're having so far with this relocation is people aren't wanting to leave the homeland. It's where they were born, raised. They don't want to leave it. It's like when my father, you know, he left the homeland down in Mexico. He didn't want to leave, but he had to do it. It's like me, you know. I go on a concert, I have to leave my home. I don't really want to leave my home, but I have to go where the money is. Can't bring the people to me. I have to go to them. It's like you have to bring yourselves to us because the food is here. It's really too hard to take the food to you. So you got to remember, relocate. It's the only way.